This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a very cold morning here in Djuma Private Game Reserve as we sit and admire the barren landscape, the gorgeous colours, and the trees that have all lost their leaves, of course. Winter brings about an entirely different landscape in front of us, and it also means that the animals themselves have to change their behaviour, which is very interesting to watch. We won't just be coming to you live from Djuma today, but also in Ngala. So we'll have many different feeds showing you many different things. So please do get ready, everyone, because it's that time of day for your live bumble through the bush. Good decision, everyone. You made that choice to jump on board with us. And that was really the right decision to make. You're currently on board Team Wendy, who definitely does have the comfier cushions on the back, that's for sure. Now, this morning was incredibly cold, but we're all wrapped up. It's a little bit difficult to move when you wrap up, but that's okay. At least we're warm. My name is Lauren, and I do have BK on camera today, and we're out and about to see what the bush is going to deliver today. The sightings have been absolutely incredible. I just want to point something out. BK can stay nice and wide. So as BK it's not so visible anymore, but as he moves to the right, it's going to pan to the right. You'll see that blue band that I've discussed before, and it is in fact the Earth's shadow. You can see the shadow of the Earth. And like all worlds that are orbiting the sun, they will cast a shadow. And the Earth's shadow actually extends about 870,000 miles into space. And you might not realize it, but you can see it. You don't think about the Earth's shadow, but you really, really can see it. And it's difficult to see within itself because at the end of the day, you're standing within it. You can see there's a blue band. That's the shadow. And then if you look above, that pink band is actually known as the belt of Venus. So if you ever want to see the Earth's shadow, the best time is obviously sunrise and sunset, naturally. And like all shadows, the shadow of the Earth is always opposite to the sun. So for sunrise, look westwards. For sunset, look eastwards. And you'll see that blue band, and that's the shadow. Isn't it beautiful? I always like stopping to admire that. It's my favourite time, my favourite part of the morning. So before I start bumbling, I must remind you all that this safari is 100% live and 100% interactive. So you can talk to us, and please do that. Sometimes when we're driving in the cold, we need your questions to get us through. You can use the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter. You can use @FC on the YouTube chat, or you can head over to the WildEarth website, and as long as you've registered, you can submit your questions there. And last but definitely not least, BK is going to wipe the lines. But kids, please do talk to us. We love your questions, and you send them in via email. So we're alerted to them in a different manner. And that email address is kidsequestions@wildearth.tv. Tell us your name, your age, and your favourite animal. Now, I'm going to start bumbling, and I just want to give you a quick recap on last night, because naturally we had a crazy sighting. Marives, Kalamba, Tandy, all in the one sighting, all together for that same reason, the impala carcass. Tandy and Kalamba had a very, very close standoff within centimetres of one another. And it didn't come to physical blows, and that's because they're mother and daughter. They are well aware that they're mother and daughter, but still, they came to blows. They're still, of course, dominant territorial females. Everybody wanted a piece of that carcass. Lo and behold, Ntima came in, naturally, and finished off the carcass. And apparently, long after drive ended, the Talamati, or at least one Talamati lion, rocked up and chased off the hyena, chased Mareebs up a tree. I believe Kalamba went south and Tandy went west, which is more towards us. That was the evening. I also collected a huge bag of poo. Yes, really wasn't the best job I've ever done in the world, but once you have a dog, you get used to that stuff after a while. So in camp, we have a very, 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 very large bag of Mareebs poo. And we're going to, of course, send that off to Panthera for analysis. The results won't be immediate, but at least they can store it on file, and they will have Mareeb's DNA. So it was a win-win situation all round yesterday. And I don't know what I'm looking for this morning. I think I'm going to take it easy. Check on that hyena den just from Gowrie, Maine. Very surprised yesterday when warthogs ran out. And see if we can see any signs of little cubs popping their head out. I can't think where those cubs will be, but we'll try and put the pieces together, even although the den is on a property that we don't technically have traverse rights to. We just get occasional permission to go in. Everyone knows that I'm the crazy hyena lady that gets very sad when she doesn't get to see her hyenas. So I bumble forward on this extremely chilly morning. Let's take a look at the weather across all our locations.
It's going to be a beautiful day. It's a very, very cold one to start. It's chilly out here this morning. Anyway, my name is Tristan on camera. David, this morning. It's such a beautiful sort of mist lifting. I'll show it to you now, but I just want to get to a certain spot before I do, because there's something else that I wanted to show you guys that's up in front here. It's crazy. It's actually dropping. Stop somewhere here. You can't see it nicely, but it's fine. We'll do it just now. David? How does that work? Just so that you get the sunset, but you got this mist layer that's kind of lifting / dropping. It's a weird thing. It's like, it's amazing how fast it's moving here, David. Yeah. That's very cool. Very cool. It's the sound of the hyena. It's amazing. You see what's happening at the moment is as the sun is rising, it's heating air, and as that hot air is rising, cold air is sinking in its place, and that mist that we were seeing is actually being suppressed down into the lowest points due to that colder air sinking in underneath this rising warm air from the sun. It's fascinating to actually watch it, because you can see the mist being pushed down onto the drainage line. That's very cool. You see, David, how it's being pushed up from the heat of the sun in certain places, and then it bends and it comes back down, and then it gets pushed straight down. It's amazing. So interesting to see the little thermal layers and how it bends and contorts. I'm not sure if it's coming through on the camera, but it's mesmerizing.
Make it art.
That's incredible. Wow. It's almost like the mist is actually like an ocean. It's like little waves that are breaking and shifting and changing, almost like water. It's ever changing. Very cool. You see how once it gets past the sort of line of the light, how it just starts to sit right into the drainage line there, so it drops as that cold air is sinking in. Remember, at sunrise is the coldest point of the day. It's because, like I say, all that cold air that's been hovering and starts to sink back in. That's higher up in altitude, so it's always coldest at this point, just as that's. Very cool hearing the hyenas with the mist and the sun sort of rising. It's very atmospheric when you have all of that combined. We might as well just sit here and watch the sunrise, David. Feels like we're in a decent enough spot for it to come over that horizon. It should come up any second now. It's not far away from peeking its head over the horizon. It's amazing how fast the sun rises these days. Well, not these days, always. In Africa, sunsets and sunrises are super quick. As soon as they're there and then they're not. For the sunset and for the sunrise it's not, and then all of a sudden it is. But that mist inversion layer was incredible. Now I wonder, those hyenas that are calling at the moment, they're calling from Tundam's area, Mulawati, somewhere there. So maybe they've kind of still hanging around roughly where the den is. I know Lauren's coming to check this side for the den. I just want to bypass and head sort of further east, because as much as she's crazy hyena lady, I tend to be a crazy leopard man. So I want to try and see if I can go follow up on the chaos that was yesterday, with that Talamati lioness running in and stealing that kill from the hyenas. It pushed Tandi west, Kalamba south, and Mariep stayed up a tree watching all of it unfold. Of course, he would. So there's potential for all three of them to be milling about. I suspect that Kalamba will be about 700 kilometers from where she is right now, or where she was last night. She'll have her angry march on because she's had an altercation with her mom. So she'll be walking around all over the place, I suspect, unless she's made a kill. Mariep's, I would imagine, is going to be pretty close by. And Tandi, well, she could be absolutely anywhere. There we go, that's the sun coming up. How are we looking there, David? Good?
Yeah, could do with some clouds.
Could do with some clouds. I mean, sure, hold on a second. Let me just order those up for you. I mean, I feel like it's not bad for a wintry sunrise.
Very pretty.
So one nice thing about the summer is when you get those like stormy clouds, even in the mornings, particularly if you've had a night of a bit of rain, you can get the most magic sunrises because of it. I'm just grateful to see that big giant orange orb of warmth coming over the horizon. It is like something out of a movie. We're very fortunate that we get to watch the sunrise and set here every day. And a lot of the times is these kind of movie/documentary sort of style. David, you need to wipe the lens. I'm so sorry, everybody. David's hand ruined our movie-style sunrise. But it is vitally necessary. Otherwise, all you're going to be seeing is a blurred sunrise. It's not going to be as pretty. All right, well, we'll continue to watch the sunrise. Once it's up completely, we'll probably carry on and go and see if there's any sign of some spots. All right, David? Pretty. Stunning. Nice. Actually, there was something else that I wanted to show everybody here, but we have parked now. It's not good for that, so we'll have to move just now. And then we'll show everyone what I was wanting to show them. Remember I said there were two things, David. You know what's nice when it sunrises like that is all these spider webs, these tropical tent webs that are catching the light with all this moisture that's in the air from this mist. A lot of them have got little water droplets on, and then when the sun rises, it just catches all the light, and you see how many of these little tropical tent webs are around. It's amazing, because during the day you don't notice them at all, but early hours of the morning. See them all over the place. These are all little ones. These are not very big tent web spiders. So nice just to sit and listen to the dawn chorus, as we call it, of various birds that are calling, and obviously hyenas just now. It's a nice time of the day just to stop and listen, and as the bush starts to wake up, I always like this time of the day. Everybody seems like they're in a flurry of activity as that sun comes over. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's go see what else we can find.
Look at how amazing that sunrise is behind that tree that you can see on the screen there. Just look at the silhouette. How beautiful is that, hey? Isn't it just amazing? These early hours of the morning, heading out to look for these animals, and then you see something as amazing as that sunrise that you've got on your screen there. A very good morning to all our viewers, and a warm welcome to andBeyond Ngala Safari. And I'm Marcus. On camera, I've got Owen. There goes Owen's stamp. So yeah, this morning the plan for the morning is just to bumble and then find whatever it is that we'll be able to find and share with the viewers back home. One of which is that sunrise that we see there. And we this morning have decided to go to the eastern part of the reserve. And so far we haven't found anything yet as far as animals are concerned, other than of course that spectacular sunrise that you got on your screens over there that silhouettes those trees, like the whole tree line that you see, and how amazing are those colors. So it is chilly this morning at Ngala. It's about 11 degrees Celsius, which is 52 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is quite chilly. I think both myself and Odi have layered up here. And I can still feel my fingers freezing even in the gloves that I am wearing. So that will tell you pretty much how cold it is this morning. But as you can see, that sun starting to slowly come out. Of course, these animals as well will most probably come out, start sunning themselves for the morning, which will be quite nice. I'm sure they will appreciate the sunlight as much as I do. And yeah, so we'll just take it from there. I think for now, we're just gonna start again driving over. I agree with you, Scott. That is very cool indeed. So like I was mentioning, we'll just drive on, much as we do love the sunlight on our faces. We have to look for these animals as well, hey? So we are gonna be driving past one of the water holes that is in the eastern part of our reserve here. To see, hopefully maybe there will be some animals close by, maybe elephants. That will be quite nice to see if they are drinking at this time. And of course, after that, we'll be heading in the central parts of the reserve, where we're gonna start searching, maybe looking for tracks. So for those who have joined us yesterday or last night, I did mention some tracks of what the guide believed to be the tracks of those sub-adults from the Birmingham Pride. Hopefully the ones with the white lions. So I think we are, well, ultimately gonna make our way to that area where those tracks were last seen or where they were last headed, to see if maybe with luck we will be able to find new tracks, hopefully from last night or even this morning, that we can now try and follow up, and hopefully they can lead us to where those sub-adults are. But yeah, for now we'll be making our way to that water body. So if we'll find some baits, yeah, so, well, I think from when I was, or for the past 14 years that I've been here, these 11, or I think it was 10 degrees Celsius, that was the coldest it has been. So for people who are used to cold, to them it's not as cold as I make it to be. But yeah, for these animals, like, well, they will have to make do with what they've got. So this weather does sometimes, you can tell that they look a bit miserable, but in time they accept it and move on. Of course, like, these animals don't really feel sorry for themselves, and whether or not it's cold or it's hot, they just roll with the punches. They take it as it comes, pretty much like we do out here. But of course, that being mentioned, it's mostly cold early hours of the morning and even late hours of the evenings. But other than that, during the day, like from now, as soon as the sun comes up, it is going to warm up quite a bit. That we'll have to get rid of our layers as well. So it doesn't really stay cold for long, if I can put it like that. But yeah, I'm just hoping that for this morning, these animals will be out and about, trying to enjoy the sunshine.
Hi, I'm Dee from the south coast of England. Today I was told I have won the most amazing prize to go to Marataba. Oh, I can't believe it. I became hooked on WildEarth last year. when I was trying to escape COVID, and animals are my thing. I just love them, and I love what WildEarth does. So that's why I wanted to become an explorer. Just so looking forward to going out to Marataba. Want to do a walking safari. Thank you so much, WildEarth.
Sign up to be an explorer today, and it could be you jetting off on an all-expenses-paid-for safari experience. WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature.
Hi, I'm Nikki, your guide here at andBeyond in Ngala. So my favorite animal in the African bush definitely has to be the zebra, because like people, with our fingerprints, every single zebra has a different stripe pattern. And, of course, a group of zebras together is called the dazzle. How unique is that? Come and join me or one of my colleagues here in Ngala for a sunrise and sunset safari on WildEarth.
This is a battle of two great carnivores of the African wilderness. Whew. Whoa! You don't want to be under those jaws. Definitely, this round goes to the lion. Look at that. Fantastic.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Hi everyone, my name's Daniel Fisher and I'm going to be your guide this afternoon. I'm looking really forward to taking you through and showing you all the beautiful places here at andBeyond in Ngala. If you have any questions, please register on our website. Once registered, go to the live page feed and post your questions underneath the live feed. Join me on my next safari through andBeyond in Ngala on WildEarth. Send me live questions through the WildEarth website and I'll answer them live from the African bush.
We have had no luck yet with any sort of tracks, other than hyena, of course. There are always hyena tracks. And I'm driving very slowly because the faster you drive, the more pain you suffer in your eyeballs when you're driving in the cold. And I don't think it's a good idea for me to close my eyes. BK can. Okay. But we're almost at the hyena den-ish. And I really don't know why there was warthogs there yesterday, but let's have a peek, let's lurk. I'm not going to go in there every day, as I've already told you. It's a sort of special favor because everyone thinks I'm crazy. The Misi lady, they call me. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Is that a compliment, Beeks? BK's going, oh! The Misi lady. That's okay, I'm going to take it. What is that? That is a leopard, everybody. I'm not going to make it to the hyena den. I don't know who this is, but that is a leopard. It's a female, I think, but let's just drive up alongside her. Hello? It's not Moya, for sure. I don't know if that's Tlalamba. Good morning. It's definitely not Moya. Moya's a lot paler. I'm only getting a bum view, and sadly, I'm not that skilled. Some of you are skilled at the bum shots. Let's catch up, Beeks. Oh, we're having a little sniff at that dead tree. Oh no, it's an alive tree. Marula is just fallen over. Well, I was on my way to the hyena den, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I tend not to make plans, because literally nothing goes to plan. Oh, something smells very good on this marula. Mmm. Something smells really good. Now we're literally just south of, a little bit southwest actually, of Treehouse Dam on Gowrie Main. And as we were live, right there and then, this leopard crossed from Little Gowrie. Is this a buoy? I'm sorry, I need a pause. I need a pause button on that face. It looks like it could be Sabi, actually. That pink nose is a giveaway. But I'll wait for you experts. Many of you are a lot better than I am. Oh, now it's scratch time. Many of you are saying this is the best surprise. I know. Here's me saying, oh, we haven't had much luck yet. There's no tracks, blah, blah, blah. There's tracks now. There's been another leopard here. And that's what she's sniffing. That's how they understand their environment. Okay, I'm just going to call this in before people see me. Stations have located an Ingwe here, very close to Shibamu Road on the fire break. It is Sabui. Aha, got it. I got it. Leopard. Yeah. Okay, Beaks. Watch the camera. Those other vehicles were just driving faster. Sabui, girl, nice to see you. This is the mama of Shasha and Langa, and I think Shasha is her double. If you compare, take a screenshot of Sabui and then Shasha from the other day. Stations, I just want to check you copy me. I've got Sabui on the fire break moving east. For some reason. Sorry, I didn't copy that. I'll put my radio up nice and high. Stations, I am having lots of trouble with my radio, but I have got female leopard moving east along the southern fire break from Shibamu Road. Okay, let's catch up with her beast before we lose her entirely. It's very nice to see this girl. I only get a signal when I hold the video up like this. And many of you ask, how do we identify leopards? Hello, girl. That was my process. Immediately I knew female. You can honestly really tell the difference. And if you can't, just look for the testicles. And I know that sounds vulgar. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but it's a really big clue. Male leopard sort of testicles really, really stick out. Sabui! And they're obvious, so not trying to be vulgar, but just look and then you know, okay, it's female, she's petite, she's tiny, it's female. Then immediately I thought it could be Moya because she's been using that track from Shibamu to Little Gowrie, Shibamu. It's not Moya. You use a process of elimination. Moya's very pale. Then I thought from body size could be Tlalamba, but I need to see the face. And then immediately when I saw the face, that pink nose, see how it's really pink? That's how I got to Sabui. So you've got to sort of use a process of elimination. I can identify leopards from the bum shot. I know some of you can. I've not got that skill. But I can see that it's female and I need the face. And as soon as I see the face, I can figure out who it is. But think about where you are. It's very, very unlikely to be Tandy. It'll never be Kanyeni. Right now, where we are, it could be Sabui, Shidulu, Kalamba, or Moya. That's your sort of choice, unless a new leopardess enters the area. I don't really look at spot patterns. I know that they do help some of you, and absolutely, but for me, it's those facial features. But from this shot, could be any of those four due to the location that we are in. Oh, come on, Wendy. Gotta love this car. Good girl. Michael, great question. Sabui had a cub, we know that much. I've seen a photo, a tiny little cub on Little Gowrie. But it's never been seen since, so no one knows, has the cub maybe made it? Possibly not. Possibly. So I'm going to look for those mammary glands. If she's still lactating, she'll be very swollen there. It'll be very, very obvious on the underside. And if she does still have a cub, then there'll be suckle marks, wet marks where the cub's been suckling. So we'll try and do our very best. If BK gets an opportunity, we'll zoom right in and let's try and see if we can see signs of that. And it's very difficult when she's walking. But great question, Michael. I did speak to Polly, and Polly said, the cub's not been seen since. So either she moved it into Hoffman's, somewhere like that. Apparently Hoffman's is a property that not too many people really travel or bother to check. So if she moved it to Hoffman's, then it's very possible that just no one's seen it. I mean, they make their den sites very, very difficult to access, as you know, for protection of the cub. So it's very possible that the den site's just not been found. I'm going to move Beaks. Now she's moving east, so we should be approaching Weaver's Nest shortly. But Sabui tends to not stay in Djuma for long. This is what she does. She touches into Djuma on that southern bell at the fire break and then normally leaves again. So I'm not anticipating that this will be a particularly lengthy sighting. There's got spots coming out of my ears. Literally. And this is Sabui. She's either on territorial patrol or she's just trying to learn who's around. This is how they learn, through smell. Whose chemical signatures is she picking up on? Who can she smell? Who's the dominant territorial female? Who's the male? Who's walked this road? It's amazing. They live in a chemical world that is so far beyond human interpretation. Sabu's very beautiful for me. She's really retained that pinkish nose. I haven't spent too much time with Langa, actually. I've not had that many sightings with Langa at all, but I have Shasha. And I think Shasha just looks like his mama. Just like I think Kalamba looks like her daddy. I don't think Kalamba looks terribly like Tandy. I think she looks like Ghana.
What's the latest on the checks of Talamati? Is there anything found this morning?
You can see her breath and all the other steam coming from all the other parts. Are you scent marking, dear? Avo, you're asking, do animals use the same trees to scent mark? Intra specifically, yes. So meaning leopards will. So this marula here that Sabui just scent marked around. I'm just going to go a little bit forward. Most likely another leopard left their scent there, most likely a female, and that's the buoy coming in and saying, this is my territorial stamp. So within leopards, within the leopard population, especially the same sex, absolutely, she's smelling. You can maybe smell an old scent of, let's just say Kalamba. She's like, this is mine now, I'm going to freshly scent on this. But interspecifically between species, not necessarily. If it's a great big marula tree, then maybe, because it's sort of a landmark, if you like. But it doesn't matter to a lion about a leopard. It doesn't matter to a leopard about a lion. Yes, they want to know when the lions are around, for sure. But it doesn't matter if it's the Talamatis or the Inkohumas, or if it's blue eye or if it's purple eye. It doesn't matter to a leopard. They live in a chemical world where they only want to know about other leopards. It gets very intricate. We watched all the interactions over the past few days between Tande, Tlalamba and Maribs. Whereas when the lions come, they just run. Lion is lion. They are a threat across the board. It doesn't matter. They don't need to understand. They don't have the cognitive ability to recognize individual lions because they don't need to. We're going to go forward. But they can read the chemical signatures of each other because they have to. The biggest threat to any individual is an individual of your own species. Recognize your own. And I'm not just talking kin recognition that we've been touching on, but recognize your own species. The rest doesn't matter. So, but we don't cross out, my dear. That's really not what we want. Just going to cross out onto Gary Main. No, dear. Once she crosses onto Gowrie Main, everyone, we will lose her. That's little Gowrie over there. You see Gowrie Main? Big sandy road? And that's little Gowrie. She's going to cross out. That was a very gentle, brief, but fairly wonderful visit. Let's go forward to watch that last few moments. Cebu is rarely found on Djuma. It's not a common occurrence. We see her on Chitwa. She spends a lot of her time on little Gowrie. Yeah. Goodbye, my fair lady. Thank you for the visit. I knew it was going to be short as soon as I knew it was her. Short and sweet. And Michael, I'm sorry we didn't get a good view. Well, that was absolutely wonderful. We're going to keep bumbling and see what else we can find.
Welcome back to andBeyond Ngala, everyone. So we drove past one of those water bodies in the eastern side of the reserve this side, and we couldn't find anything at the water hole. Just the hippos that had made their way back because they were in the water already. And so we are moving towards the central parts now, where hopefully we'll be able to find the tracks of the sub-adults of the Birmingham Pride that we will follow up on. Yeah, it's slowly warming up, which is quite great for both us and these animals. We haven't found anything as of yet, because maybe animals like hyenas, much as they are nocturnal at this time of the day, you do find them also still foraging or making their way to wherever their clan or even the den site might be. But yeah, we haven't been that lucky so far, and we'll just keep looking. Hopefully we'll be able to find other animals that will be able to show our viewers. I see some tracks on the road here. That looks like actually tracks of youngsters.
I'll go down for a short walk with Thomas in the drainage line north of HH.
Yeah, so there were some tracks that I was seeing back there we just drove past. That looks like tracks of leopard youngsters or leopard cubs, which makes me believe that it might be the tracks we're following up on yesterday for Ngala Lip. And of course there will be other stations, so there is other station that is looking for Ngala and her youngsters as well. So these are pretty much the areas that she moves around in, so this will be her territory. But yeah, also for her and the youngsters, this is actually quite an ideal time where it's early hours of the morning and then the sun is slowly coming out. So those youngsters might be out sunning themselves for the morning. So we'll just have to look hard for them. And then we'll drive towards that riverbed, the Timbawati dry riverbed, because that's where even if she goes hunting, she'll leave those youngsters on the banks there. So with luck, when we drive past, sometimes we do see them, like we have a long distance visual of these youngsters just out playing or sunning themselves. And of course, when we do find them and the mother is not there, we don't stick around with them, because that is when they are vulnerable, especially to an attack from hyenas. So we won't make things easy for these hyenas by giving away the position of those youngsters. Hence, when we find them without the mother, we just move on. I'm just hoping that we do find them with Lily, I'm glad you could join us for this morning. It is relatively difficult, especially when it comes to finding leopards, because those ones, firstly, they are more or less smaller in sizes as opposed to something like maybe a lion that you might be able to find with ease. But also because leopards sometimes have got this tendency of just hiding as soon as they hear a car, maybe they don't want to be bothered, so they'll just lie flat on these grasses. So it's quite easy to miss them, especially when they're a bit far away from the road. But yeah, now that we are in our dry season, these grasses are coming down gradually. They are sort of drying and dying, so things are gonna be a little bit easier from now on. But yeah, with the leopards especially, you do struggle finding them. But something like a lion, that mostly will be in a pride, so there will be more than one animal, and they are bigger in size. Those ones you can pretty much spot with ease, much as they also do blend in with these dry grasses. But yeah, I think it's much easier to spot something like a lion in this grass than a leopard. And also for that reason that a leopard, it's maybe when it's a mother and her cubs, that's the only instance that you will find more than one leopard in one time, or even a mating pair of leopards. And while we are still on our search, we are going to send you over to Tristan, see what is got in store for us.
Well, while Marcus carries on with his search, we've just got to chit with them. Unfortunately, we've just missed Thandi and Marips. They were both here, but they seem to have crossed into Little Gari. Well, at least Thandi has, as has Kalamba, as has Sabui, and I'm probably pretty sure Marips has also gone across. So it's obviously Little Gari's day for all the leopards today. Kalamba, though, looks like she does come out onto Gari Main, but I couldn't see where she went from there. There was... Yes, Egyptian geese, we hear you. There was a whole bunch of hyenas that were walking on top of her track, so it's difficult to see which way she cut. But we'll try and go back there and have a little look. Unfortunately, we're just not having the rub of the green with these two cats at the moment. Well, I certainly am not. No matter how much I'm trying, there's just no signal or crossing boundaries. It's just irritating, to say the least. Anyway, you never know. Maybe he pops out again somewhere. Maybe he didn't go across with his mom. I can't find tracks for him crossing, but I can find tracks for her going over. And given that they were seen here together this morning first thing, I would suspect that he's also popped over somewhere there. Maybe not with her or right next to her, but somewhere along the road. And so we're just looking at hippos for now and just listening in case I can pick up any audio for alarm calls like squirrels or birds or I mean, impalas would be first prize. But yeah, let's see how we go. Hello, hippos. They look very chilled. Alright, so we'll sit here. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Lauren, who's made her way to the hyena den.
Well, I got my other wish this morning. A big, fat hyena. Don't know who it is yet. Perfect ears. Very, very full. I think it might pop out onto Gary Main. Let's just sit tight. There we go. That's what we want. Animals crossing into Djuma. I don't know if it's in teamsy teams. Oh, my goodness. I just love that walk. It is so nonchalant. Just walking along the highway with the fullest of full belly. And teens, is that you? I'm not sure. We're very close to the den. We're at Baboon Pan, which is just in a direct line, actually, further east than what is the den or was the den. I'm not sure if it's still active. I just want to see where they're going. Well, down this hill for sure. Let's go forward, Beaks. I'm wondering if they've just moved their den a little bit. Oh, Djuma clan, please come back to Djuma. Look at that, fresh hyena tracks. I'm going to stop on this hill. Our signal briefly dips in this dip, but it always pops back up again. But I just want to watch her. Have we got any IDs yet, FC? Oh, such a model. Michael, thank you, and Tima. Thank you. I thought so, but I think my hyena identification skills have definitely gone downhill. And Teams, what you doing? Are you still full from that meal you stole from all the leopards last night? I think so. And then you got chased by a lion, I believe. You're clearly fine. Look at that pose. Okay, I'm gonna try and follow Ntima for a little while and see where she ends up.
Hello, my name is Marnie Kell from the Greater Toronto Area of Ontario, Canada. I am most excited to meet some of the guides that I feel I already know. And I'm going to very much enjoy riding along with them to see what they see most days while they're broadcasting these safaris to us, while also staying at the beautiful Simbambili Lodge. WildEarth has brought so much to my life, and I am thrilled and grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you.
Sign up to be an explorer today, and it could be you jetting off on an all-expenses-paid-for safari experience. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
There's a grounding earthiness to this place that we feel in our ancestors. It's a place where, believe it or not, we evolved as a human species, and anyone who's come to Africa will understand that. The connectivity that the continent has to the person and to people's souls is next level. I'm thoroughly looking forward to taking you on your next adventure when we explore all the small and big things.
Catch up with the guides daily here on WildEarth.
Looks like it's a very difficult climb because every time it tries to climb, the ground is breaking, so it slides down. But it's the only one. Look at that. That is a call of desperation with a cub. It's like, what are you doing, mommy? Oops. Oh.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Hello, I'm Marna, your WildEarth Safari Guide from andBeyond Ngala. What I really like about connecting with WildEarth viewers is that we get to speak to viewers instantly, and I get to show you this beautiful property. If you want to ask me a question, register on the WildEarth website. Simply head over to the live safari page and you can submit your questions there. Join me or one of the other guides twice a day on WildEarth.
Well, Chitwa Dam is still looking beautiful this morning. Lots of noise from the Egyptian geese is the only thing that's ruining the peace at this stage. They're squawking and carrying on with one another. I'm sure it's because there's multiple different pairs that are around. But yeah, no sign of Marips coming back out again. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's gone into Lugari and with his mom in tow. Well, actually, he's in tow to his mom. Oh, David, look. The night heron is out today. Straight across on the island in the little bush there. You see the green bush? Right in the middle of that, there's a dead branch and there's a night heron sitting on the branch there. Have you got it?
Yeah.
You've not seen one of these, have you, David?
I think so.
Yes, this will be a new one for you. So black crown night heron. Saw them here the other day at Chitwa. But what we can do is try, let's meander along a little bit, David, see if we can get a nice view a little bit closer. Hopefully it won't fly. I only see the one though, I haven't been seeing the pair. There used to be a pair of them behind the dam wall, but maybe both are here. Let's have a look. it's actually a better view from here, but we'll try. Certainly much closer, David. I mean, we can see it nicely though. That red eye and the little black crown, which is where the name comes from.
It's just not on the right one there.
So, which one are you on?
I was on that guy on the edge of the bank, yeah.
On the edge? No, not on the edge of the bank. The one in the tree itself. So, if you're in you see the little island, then you've got this like fallen over sticky part.
On the right side, yeah?
Yeah, and then if you go up to the left, there's like a green, like a bright green section.
Yeah.
Just below that bright green section, if you look for the movement, you'll see it there.
Yeah, I've got him.
You got him. That's the night heron. The other one that you were on, I think, was a green-backed heron.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah, this also looks like quite a young bird. It doesn't look like a fully grown adult. Just trying to see nicely. It's difficult because it's a bit obscured and the light is not wonderful. But nice to see. As the name suggests, they're quite shy birds. Typically, sort of come out in the darker hours. But this one seems to be hanging around on this little island. It seems to like this area to be able to hunt. Hello, little baby hippo. And I think it's probably due to the fact that, there's behind Chitwa Dam Wall now, there's the owner's house. So maybe because of that, they just moved up onto the main dam. Could also be one of the fledglings. So maybe the pair was successful, and this is now the pair is behind the dam wall. And this little fledgling has come and kind of taken up residence on the main part of the dam. I'm trying to scan to see if I can see another one, but I can't. It's quite a special bird, this. It's not one that you easily find. It's often overlooked, as you can see by where it's hanging out. It's not that easy to see. And like I said, they like to kind of skulk around right in the depths of the bushes. They don't like to be right out in the open like the greenbacks. The greenbacks, you'll see them on the edge of the water moving around. These guys typically like to be in kind of foliage like this. Always look so awkward when they're trying to navigate these little thickets. There we go, coming out nicely for us though. Very cool. There you go, David. It's a new one for you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I wonder if it wants to come down and hunt something. Seems like it's interested in something down there. Oh, you say new one for you. That's good. I'm glad. It's always nice when we can add birds to your guys' bird lists. I know a number of you do keep lists for the WildEarth shows and what you've seen. So it's always good to add new ones for viewers. Like I say, I've had them on a few times now. Back in, was it 2018, 2019, somewhere there. I don't know. I had them on a number of times, and then I had it the other day too, so it's nice when we can get it added to people's lists. Like I say, it's an easily overlooked bird and often one that people don't notice. But I like them. I think they're quite pretty. They have that beautiful reddish colored eye. If the light's right and you catch them properly, you can get that kind of red shine coming through. Certainly very, very, very obliging now, being out in the open. David, you see this little baby hippo in front of us, sleeping on its mom's back?
Cool.
It's trying so hard to keep its eyes open, but the eyes just don't want to stay open. And so it's having a little sleep on mom's back. When the water's too deep and they can't keep their head up, then mom's back provides the perfect foil and the perfect pillow in order to have your morning nap in the nice, glorious sunshine. Clever little hippo. Problem is all the other hippos that are snorting around it is waking it up. That's very cute though. It's not a tiny, tiny, tiny baby, but it's also not a big individual either. There goes a green-backed heron. Another green-backed heron. So many green-backed herons on this particular part of the world. Find them all over Chitwa Dam. What else have we got? Sometimes it's nice just to sit here and look around. Chitwa's one of those places where the more you look, the more you find. So many little places for birds, particularly. Patty, Egyptian geese certainly aren't. Yeah, probably actually in this area they would be maybe not the loudest in terms of how much, or how. I'm trying to think of the right wording for this. Maybe not loudest in terms of a decibel rating, but loudest in terms of they don't ever shut up. That would always where I would quantify their loudness. There's a crocodile as well, David, sliding along behind all of the hippos. So loudest in just that they make noise constantly, and it's just not a very nice noise. It's very abrupt and very harsh. So it's not great. But in terms of actual decibel volume, that's a good question. I'm actually not sure what our loudest bird would be from a decibel point of view. I have to go look at that. I've really never actually even thought about it. Especially not in this part of the world. I don't know why I've never actually thought of that, but that's one of the nice things about WildEarth is sometimes you think about, well, you guys ask questions that make you think about things that you never really thought about before. You would think that you would think about that kind of stuff, but sometimes, you just don't. And I've never really actually taken much cognizance of it. Yeah, so many beautiful birds out and about this morning. Don't know if you guys can hear, there's a bird calling. It's the lesser striped swallows are calling. They're sitting on top of the dead tree here. I think they're in amongst some others. I think there might be some wire-tailed in amongst there as well. I didn't check nicely. I'll look with binos now. There's definitely lesser striped. I can hear them calling. Yeah, wire-tailed are also sitting there. So the lesser stripes, obviously the ones with little stripes on their chest. And then the ones that are landing that don't have the stripes are the little wire-tailed. Wouldn't be surprised there's grey rumped in here as well. I'm just checking. There's a wire-tailed. No, I don't see any grey rumps, just some young birds that are in amongst them. Nice when they perch, because swallows are a nightmare to be able to get otherwise. So when they actually perch down, look at this hippo, it's over the whole body is over the back of its mom. Check. Are you comfortable there, little hippo? Hey? That's super cute. Nathan, who's 8 years old, probably not Nathan, because they'll just walk to where the bank is shallower. So they'll, even if their mom isn't there, they'll just try to get to the edge of the water, and then they're able to stand there. But let's say that there wasn't an ability to get to the bank and the water was very deep. Maybe eventually they would drown. If they can't, get to a place where they can stand, then eventually they'll become exhausted and tire out. Cute though, isn't it? The way that it's just kind of hanging over the top of its mom. peaceful here this morning. It would have been nice if Marips and Tandi had decided to stay, though. That would have definitely helped. The nice thing is that there is another vehicle in the area that's trying. It looks like they've dropped their tracker off, so hopefully they'll be able to pick him up somewhere in this general vicinity. Must be so nice just to sit on your mom's back and not have to worry about life. You don't have to worry about predators. You don't have to worry about actually holding yourself up. You can just fall asleep and take it very easy. It's super cute though. Well, it just goes to show how deep it actually is there. So she'll be, sitting probably in all likelihood. And so not very, very deep in that section. Alright, let's see. We're going to meander on and see what else there is in the area. See if we can maybe find Marips, and hopefully he'll kind of make an appearance for us.
Welcome back to Ngala, everyone. Yeah, we have now drove heading central parts, and now we are actually heading towards the dry riverbed Detimbavati, where the tracks of the sub-adults were last seen, and it's actually dry this morning, I must say. Not a lot of animals that are out and about, or that we can see at least. So I must say these animals aren't that cooperative at all this morning. But yeah, we'll just have to keep at it, hoping that we will find some of them at least. More so these sub-adults of the Birmingham Pride that we are looking for. Sometimes it is this hard out in the bush. You will be looking for stuff and you just won't find any. That being said, we'll just have to have a bit of patience. So just keep looking hard, and then something will eventually surface that you can share with everyone. But like I'm saying, up to now we haven't had any luck at all. So not even elephants. See, for such big animals or huge animals, you might be able to see even from far away. But of course we have not seen any, which makes me think that they are either deep in some thickets or they're actually not in any of these parts that we have driven this far. So here we'll just have to keep looking hard.
Just spent some time at Gwenstein. Lots of hyena activity on this fire break. We followed Ntima. She did cross back into Little Gowrie. But lots of tracks, audio. So I'm just wondering, have they moved? Gwenstein is actually usable. We sat there for a while, but it's too cold to sit there any longer. And it's accessible, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't see anything that looked fresh, really. No fresh tracks, no fresh scat. But I'm checking the area, and believe it or not, we call this Bat Country because this is Batilda's land. Welcome to Bat Country. But seriously, this is what we call this little triangular area. So I am also looking for Batilda, but I'm wondering if the hyenas have moved. And And it's very possible that they're back on Djuma. It's also possible that they're not, but it's worth a search. I would give anything right now to have the den back on Djuma, where it's completely accessible to us to keep up with the Djuma clan. So for me, it's worth checking. It might be fruitless, nothing may come of it, but I'm just suspicious about this fire break. Davi said there was audio, they could hear audio when they were on Chitwa. Hyenas were seen, 3 of them. I've just seen Ntimo on the same road. They could just be in the area for a kill. Or the den could be there. It's still a communal den. So although only Ntima and June are technically the only mothers that have cubs in there, it's still a communal site. The males can come, females can come, Ribbon can come, the cubs can come. It's a communal area for a social clan. And I'm just wondering, to me, the cubs cannot have been in that den if there were 3 huge warthogs. So where are the cubs? If they've gone further into Little Gowie, then we're in trouble. But they could be back on Djuma. So I'm just going to do a little loop of all the dens that I know that are on the southern side. I don't think they're going to have transported up to the sort of Galago shortcut and Vubu side. But it's worth a check. It's just impossible to keep up with the clan if we can't really sort of access the den and spend hours there. Mariana, you're asking about June? June's tummy. No, she is 100% not pregnant. None of them are. They all have cubs and youngsters that are all very much dependent on them. Ribbon has Ngwazi now. Sadly, we lost Shambulu. And Tima has her son. June has Navella. Heart's a bit of a question mark. She should technically have Gingarika and Pumela, but we haven't seen them. Doesn't mean that anything's happened to them. We're just struggling. The cuckoo. No, don't fly away. You guys always fly away. We just haven't seen them. And of course, Corky has Braveheart. The clan is becoming really difficult to catch up with because they're not so den-bound anymore. When you see that fat tummy, it is literally food. Hyenas gorge themselves, really do, because it's a life of feast and famine out here, as do the leopards, as do the lions. Cheetahs, not so much, because they've got to run. Wild dogs, not so much. But as for the others, they do absolutely gorge themselves, and that tummy is just all food. That is a hyena food baby, Marianne. Definitely not pregnant, not when they've got cubs, 100%. And just like a leopard, it's really difficult to tell when a hyena's pregnant because they do gorge themselves in that way. You'll only sort of be able to tell towards the end of the pregnancy, just like with Tlalamba. We could sort of see, you're pregnant, my dear. But it's very, very late on in their pregnancy when it just starts to look really full at the lower abdomen, not at the tummy side, obviously where the uterus is. And hyenas are similar. Took me a long time to figure that out about Ribbon 2 years ago, but towards the end I knew you're not just fat, dear, you're pregnant. Hyenas have a longer gestation period, but not by much. It's still a sort of 4-month gestation period, marginally longer than the leopards and the lions. Hello, Impala. You're all huddled quite closely together. It's just the boys. They're running away from these boys. Why are you scaring the ladies? And no Batoda, I'm afraid. Bat country without our little beautiful bat to leer. Our jokes are really not that funny out here, but you know... What? What are you guys snorting at? Michael, you've read my mind. That's where I'm heading. I'm going to cut into that really horrible Batelier Road den. Nothing to do with Batilda. And I really didn't like that one, but they did end up there 2 years ago. I'm going to check that one, then I'm going to cut it back across west to the Shabamu one. You read my mind. But I'm not going to go any further north than that. That wouldn't make sense. We'll try and show you all the dens. I know you all love to see them. Gwen's den, a tree did collapse, but I had a really good look at it. I didn't get out the car just in case, but it's definitely usable and accessible for hyenas and warthogs. And there's another den about 50 meters from Batilda's nest, obviously on the ground, not in a tree, just clarifying. And that's a really accessible, beautiful termite mound. It's freshly dug, and we always see warthogs in there. Always. And I just thought, maybe the hyenas would use it. But it's freshly dug, but there's no tracks for hyenas. So were you guys just snorting for no reason? Okay. You're all looking at us. Why are you looking at me? Maybe they can smell Mareeb's poo. Navi couldn't believe I was scooping up the poo. But when you have a dog, you just get used to stuff like that. We don't actually have any of the vials from Panthera. They said they would send some, so adopt for the bag. Danny, are you thinking about eating this impala? You say the counter shading, the sort of three-bandied coloration of an impala's coat, reminds him of a three-tiered, different flavoured ice cream cone. So we got salted caramel on top with a layer of fudge and then butter popcorn. Did you like that, Danny? Is that what you were thinking? That's what I'm going to go with. Impalas don't look too impressed, though. Salted caramel. Or maybe the last layer should be cookies and cream. I'm a pistachio girl. Love pistachio ice cream with salted caramel. They do it in Cape Town and it's fantabulous. These boys were definitely alert. I think it was just a spook rather than an actual alarm, if that makes sense. They just got spooked. The females also got spooked. Okay, I'm going to continue my search and just bumble around various different hyena dens.
Suspended above Kenya's Masai Mara is a breathtaking lodge where unrivaled service goes hand in hand with extraordinary wildlife sightings. Ngala Mara offers a quiet place where guests have the opportunity to reconnect with the world again. Sign up to be a WildEarth Explorer before the end of July, and you and a friend could win a 3-night stay at this award-winning lodge. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. The importance of forests cannot be underestimated. Over 1 billion people live in and around forests, depending on them for fuel, food, medicine, and building materials. The Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, WESA, is the national implementer for a program called LEAF. The LEAVE program makes use of indigenous forests grown on school properties to teach pupils about biodiversity. This directly instills a sense of ownership of the natural surroundings and reconnects children with our biomes and heritage. WESA needs your help to bring nature back to schools. Ask your school to join the program through the link on their website. Together with WESA, you can help take this incredible program to schools across the country.
Okay, there's another big male coming in from our left here. Another big male, look at this. This is the one. Now you're going to see sparks fly, guys. Guys, it doesn't get better than this, eh? Yes, unbelievable. Africa, I love you, eh?
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Welcome back, everyone. So, like I have mentioned earlier, that we're driving towards the central part, and we have actually found some tracks of the lions that are actually heading in the northerly direction, pretty much where we're heading along this road, and they look rather recent. So that's actually a good thing. That's what we've been looking for, these tracks that might ultimately lead us to where these lions are. So they can be anywhere where we are, so like we'll just have to be looking in these thickets under these guarri bushes, because they can be resting anywhere at any given time. So we'll just have to scan, so might be able to see if they've got their heads up. We'll be able to pick up maybe those ears, or otherwise the dark tip of the tail. If they switch it from side to side, that's something that we might also be able to pick up. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, these tracks will lead us to where the lions are. Because back there's somewhere where there looks like there are also tracks of the giraffe, which makes me think that there is a good chance they might be hunting the giraffe. But of course I don't think they've been successful, because otherwise we would be able to hear them feeding, or otherwise we'll see maybe vultures circling the area, and we haven't seen any of that. So we'll just have to keep looking, because like I mentioned earlier, with these dry grasses sometimes it is a bit hard for us to spot them. James, the last time I had a sighting of New Zulu, she did definitely have hiccups. Much as they are very skittish cubs, they are not as relaxed at all. But I think that might be because they were born during that time when we were on harder lockdowns. So they are not really used to these vehicles yet. They are not habituated to them. So that their mother is quite chilled. She is relaxed when you get to an area. But when they are around, they just run. But yeah, the last time we saw her, she was with them until they ran away from us. So I think that there is a good chance they are still around. So the tracks are still heading along this road. But we haven't seen any animals as of yet. So of course I did say that the tracks looks rather recent, but it might be, anything from early hours of this morning. And of course when it's that cold, these animals do move a great deal. So you might find that they've covered some ground and they're not that close from where we are. But there is hope as long as we do have these tracks. So we just need to keep looking. And of course, sometimes, these lions would vocalize, whether be it contact calling, or maybe if it's the males just advertising their presence, So that's something also we'll be able to hear and pretty much sort of pinpoint the direction where it's coming from. I think I'll drive to a certain junction just up ahead so that I will be able to see whether or not the tracks get to that side, and if they do, which direction are they taking from there. Otherwise I will have to drive back to where I last saw those tracks, maybe try follow them on foot so that I'll be able to see where they Sorry, Jerome, I missed that question. Yes, Jerome, predators would prefer colder weather because when it is cool, they move around, they don't really spend as much energy moving. And also because these other animals at that weather, they're not as active, if I can put it like that, which will be the prey species that these predators will be hunting for. So the cold weather actually does help the predators a great deal, and also sometimes when they are active at night, they try and hunt, they are not as successful. On a cold weather day, they can even push the hunt through the day, if that makes sense, because at the end of the day they will have to feed. So the cold weather does help them to a greater extent. So yeah, I think they would. And of course when it's hot, you can see they look mostly for shade that they will. And of course when they have fed, sometimes their metabolism works hard, that makes them eat a lot more. So if they have fed and it's cold, then it helps. Alright, so now where I am, the tracks do not get up to this far. So I'll have to backtrack, go to an area where we last saw those tracks. And now we're gonna send you over to Lauren while we are still busy searching, see what she has for you.
I've not quite made it to any of the dens yet. I drive like my grandmother. But we have got a vulture. A white-backed. I love vultures. I really do. When you get past the sort of stigma, they are really the coolest of the cool. Now, we only have one, which doesn't really suggest anything. If there was 5 here, then I would start to think possibly there's something dead around. But to be honest, at this stage, I mean, we only have one. I just think they're really great and completely necessary in the ecosystem. Let's just remove hyenas and remove vultures. Now, think of an ecosystem like the Sabi Sands, where there's a high density of lions, a high density of leopards, dogs, also cheetah. All these carcasses lying on the ground, buffalo, zebra, giraffe, impalas in the trees, maggots everywhere, parasites, the smell of rotten flesh. Eventually, when that carcass biodegrades and goes into the soil, yes, it's good for the soil, but until then, it's going to become a very, very unpleasant environment to be in. Dirty, smelly. That's why the vultures are here. They clean it all up. Ecosystems, bin men. And I think they should be celebrated for that. Otherwise, this would not be a nice place to drive around. And sadly, people really don't like vultures, that they actually poison them. And the populations of various different species of vultures are in big trouble. They'll put a carcass down intentionally to attract them, but that carcass will be poisoned. So naturally, when all the vultures eat the meat, they die. Just terribly, terribly sad. And, I mean, vulture's stomach acid is already exceptionally corrosive. It's about pH 1, which is really, really low, which is very acidic. And this is, of course, so that they can safely digest putrid carcasses infected with anything, from the botulinum toxin, hog cholera bacteria, anthrax bacteria, just blasts it all away. But yet, I can't survive being poisoned. That's the big issue out here. Whereas we need these guys, and they're so cool. They're ridiculous looking. I never got to see the bearded vulture in Ethiopia, but in the Simeon Mountains is a very sort of iconic area to see the bearded vultures. They call them lammergeiers up there. Large populations, and it's on my to-do list. This one's just warming up in the sun, getting ready to ride the thermals. Darcy, yes, you nailed it. Nailed it. Vultures are the best housekeepers of the wild. 100%. And they're doing all the work that no one wants to do. The hoovering, the polishing, the cleaning. No one wants to do those tasks in your own household, never mind out here. But the vultures are doing it. These guys are literally doing it all for you and for all the other species out here. I just think they're great. All of them. I love how brave the hooded vultures are. I love how much respect and command the lappet-faced vultures get. I love how noisy and frantic the whitebacks get. They all fight with one another. Woo! Squabbling continuously. The white-headed vultures we get here, they're quite rare though. We don't see them too often, but I love how magnificent their facial coloration is. We get a lot of species of vultures out here. on to see the bearded. Got a very, very small distribution in South Africa, around the sort of Lesotho area. They're listed as endangered. But when you go up to Ethiopia, there's quite a fabulous population up there. And most likely you'll see them sitting on dead trees, just like this one. Branches and leaves and thorns and hooks get in the way. They just need a heavy, steady tree. So it's normally dead trees, especially leadwoods, and maybe full adult knobthorns. Dead knobthorns possibly, but leadwoods are a good one because they are such heavy birds. They need that solid sort of landing place and drop-off point, and that's why you'll see them very often perched on the edges. Or when they're ready to fly or ride the thermals, they just drop off and into the air. It's very convenient. Okay, I'm going to continue my bumble and hopefully very shortly make it to the next hyena den. We're just sitting here admiring this white-backed vulture. Sunbathing, cleaning and preening, itching and scratching. I love vultures. It might take off soon. It's getting warmer. The thermals are in the air. But we're just going to sit here for a moment or two and watch one of my favorite birds. This guy's getting ready to fly soon. Ride the thermals and look for food.
Well, they're still trying to scratch around and hope that Marips's or Tandi kind of makes an appearance. The track's going, well, definitely Tandi. I can't find the track for Marips though. That's why we're still scratching in the area, in case he just kind of got left by her and has decided to sort of take it easy somewhere close to Chitwa. I've just been doing slightly bigger loops in case the tracks were missed. There's a few cars that drove there, so it's very possible that his track was driven over. So I'm just trying to do a few little loops. Just alarm called and flew out of the bush here. So not that far from where the tracks were. Maybe it's a Tundi. Either that or a slender mongoose.
Good afternoon, Peter. Lucy update.
Came out from here. They sometimes panic for slender mongooses as well, and then they fly like this. Oh, it's definitely behind us. Just keeping the engine off so I can hear. James, the dogs went into Manyeleti, so no further update this morning. No one's found any sign of them. So yeah, no real idea as to who they are or how many. The guys seemed a bit confused because they were quite split up. There was dogs kind of spread around, but they all went back into Manyeleti. All right, nothing coming out.
Alright, tip. Yeah, they're coming out. I think we're going to start off the better man. And the division of the Ingwe. Yamadona. Around the elephant.
All right, let's go back again and just check. Here's also, you guys are talking about a herd of buffalo that's somewhere around Chitwa, so maybe we'll go and just spend some time with them. Let's go and have a look.
I'm interested in the Ingwe here.
Just trying to listen to the guys. Sounds like Semba is also around somewhere in Chitwa. I'm sure it's Semba. They're saying he's shy. Maybe let's go ahead and hang around there. We might pick him up. Alright, so let's go ahead and head that side and see what we can get. There's some buffalo that we can look at in the meantime, and like I say, you never know, maybe December pops out, or these guys have a bit of luck with Marips and they can tell us whether he's in Little Gowrie or not. I think that's going to be a good idea. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Marcus, who's also tracking.
Well, good luck to Tristan finding that leopard. And yeah, I went briefly down on foot trying to make sense of those tracks. And then we had some lion audio or some lions calling, which sounded like it came from somewhere a little bit west of where we are now. So that's what we are trying to go investigate. Fingers crossed, hopefully we'll find these lions. And then of course we'll just keep on listening for if it calls again, which makes me think that it might be one of the Ross males at least. I doubt it will be those sub-adults calling. So it might be the Ross male, and we haven't really had any response at all. We just had that one that called. So there is a good chance that he might have separated with his brother from last night when they were patrolling and now maybe just contact calling to find each other, or otherwise calling the pride that they had, those lionesses with their youngsters. So that remains to be seen. So this area that we are in at the moment, it is where those sounds came from. And of course, for now, he hasn't called again. If he does call, we'll just switch off so that we'll be able to pick up exactly the direction where the sound came from. Because from where we heard him, sounded like he might have been a bit of a distance away from us. So we'll just drive some of these roads in this area. In this road that we are at the moment, there is another road that sort of cuts north from here. So it sounded like it came from these areas here, and of course we'll just have to look, but I'm just hoping that he well, if I got that question, well, you want to know how often we see snakes. So in summer we do see quite a lot of snakes, but yeah, in winter like this you don't really find a lot of snakes, because as you might know, snakes being reptiles, they do sort of hibernate in winter because they can't really produce their own heat, if I can put it like that. So they do hibernate in winter. However, there is like those puff adders that we see now even in winter, and also a few black mambas. Like with the sun, it's up now. Sometimes you do find them on the road sunning themselves. But other than that, yeah, we don't really see a lot of snakes in winter seasons. But yeah, so now that lion audio sort of led us west from the central parks, we are heading to the western side of the reserve. And like I mentioned, that lion hasn't called yet, or at least after the last time we heard him, which makes it a little bit hard for us now. More so because we can't see any tracks on this road. So we'll just have to work with that sound. And if he isn't calling now, we are sort of chasing shadows. I'm just hoping that he calls, so otherwise when we get to that next road that I mentioned that is heading north, we will be able to pick up some tracks that we can follow, that will hopefully lead us to our lion. Yeah, so for the viewers, this is what we deal with.
Hello everyone, my name is Trishala and I am a naturalist and safari guide here in Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands in South Africa. I think that the information that we provide, and most importantly the questions that you ask, give both you and I a really good idea of what's going on. My friend Fernando here, he's a flat-necked chameleon and I love them. They're just these gems that you manage to find in the bush.
Catch up with the guides daily here on WildEarth.
I've seen something I've never seen here before. Look at these cubs. One is crossing the river. It's being washed away, unfortunately, but I'm sure the mother is going to save her. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. One crossing, two to go. How cool is this?
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
My name is Lauren and I'm currently working in Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. I love answering your questions during the live safaris. It's my favorite part. It feels like you're on the vehicle with me and I'm able to teach you exactly what you want to know. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, you must go to the live safari page and ask your question below the live feed.
Well, with our buffalo herd at the moment, it's all fairly docile, as one would imagine from buffalo. They're just taking it very easy. This doesn't seem to be a massive herd. It just seems to be a few of them kind of spread around through this area. The guys say they had brief visual of what they think was Semba running across the road here and into Mordor on our southern side. There's no ways you'll follow him through this section. It's way too thick, way too dense, and way too difficult to keep up with him. That's quite a nice bull there, actually. Let me roll back a bit for you, David. These other guys, it mostly looks like bulls. I haven't seen a cow yet. They spread through this sort of left-hand section here, but there's a nice bull that's just chilling on our left. I was also laughing because we had some impalas here, and a steenbok came walking through the grass, and they absolutely panicked. There was impalas bounding everywhere trying to get away, and it was just a little steenbok coming out of the grass. I wonder if they didn't see Semba just now and they thought he was back, wondering what he wanted, and they kind of got a bit of a fright. But the other bit of news is it seems as though there's very fresh tracks crossing into Djuma, so I want to maybe go and kind of follow up there. Just trying to listen to the radio because it seems like guys are talking about something, but I didn't hear what it was exactly that they picked up. But it's nice to see buffalo herds around. They're obviously slowly but surely have been rolling through these areas, and they disappeared for the last week. It seems as though they went down towards Mala side because they were seen at Cheetah Plains, I think, a couple of days ago. It just fascinates me, though, how every time we have buffalo on this property, the lions are nowhere to be found, and they don't make a kill, but every time the same lions go onto other properties, they somehow figure it out. I can't remember the last time I saw a buffalo being killed by lions on Djuma. It's a very, 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 very long time since that has happened. I know there was the Nkumas on a buffalo kill on Chitwa the other day, but I'm talking about on Djuma itself. I can't remember the last time we had a buffalo kill on Djuma. But yet we've had a lot of buffalo around. So it seems as though between the Talamatis and the Nkuhumas, they just don't favour hunting in our area for some reason. These guys do not look like they're very active today, do they? They look like they're enjoying the sunshine after the cold weather. So, Michael, I think the buffalo numbers will increase again, and they will slowly start to come back to what we saw before the drought. It's just going to take a few years of good rains and good grazing, and then we should get a situation where they come back pretty strong. Already, if you look at the herds, you see how many of the females are carrying babies or have little ones at the moment. The herds are full with little ones, so The numbers will bounce back quite quickly. I reckon if we give it another 2-3 years. Oxpeckers. Shame, boy. Do you not want the oxpeckers on you today? Give it another 2-3 years and we should have good numbers once more. I think you'll find that they are slowly but surely going to bounce back, and it'll be nice if we do get those numbers again. You know, those herds of 1,000, 1,500 are quite something to witness. It's not something that you see every day, but when you do see it, it's something quite spectacular. Shame, boy, there's oxpeckers driving you mad today. He's not a fan of oxpeckers, this guy. Are you throwing a tantrum now because you have oxpeckers on you? I wonder if there's also not a lot of scent of lion in this area. This is not too far from where the Talamatis were yesterday. So it could be... the smell of them in the area could also be causing it. Okay, buddy. Off you go. Make me laugh, these guys, when they get grumpy like this. Certainly wouldn't want to be in front of it, though, when it does that. It'll calm down now. Now that it's joined the rest, it shall be a happier buffalo. Alright, there's a car behind us, so I just want to move out their way so that they can come past if they need to. They're going to just come past on their own accord anyway. Hello, Peter, how are you? At Weaver's Nest. Fresh on top of the vehicles. Is it on top of the vehicles? Peter, this is another story. It's one of the guides from Nkoro, and he was trying to explain to me, because I was live without talking to me, how he had seen tracks for a leopard, and so his impersonation was one of ears like this, and then pointing at like this as though there's spots, and then going north. I was like, okay, cool, thank you. But I heard him on the radio already earlier, so I knew that that was the case. I'm pretty sure it's Sabi. Let's come back again. I'll head in that direction just now. See if we can't pick her up. I don't even know what the time is, actually. Yeah, we've got time to go there. Like I said, I don't know if we'll find Semba in this thicket. It's going to be very, very difficult to find him again. He's not a cat that is easily findable in bush like this. He likes to sit and lie down. If you're with him, it's fine. But actually finding him in here is a whole different story altogether. These are all males, David. I don't see cows at all in this group. It's just a big group of boys, by the looks of things. Maybe it was a boys' weekend and everybody's getting back. Alright, I think let's leave these guys to themselves. And go and see what else we can find. Nice to, like I say, to pick up some buffalo for the morning. Always a treat seeing them, especially given that they have been a little bit absent over the past little bit. Alright, David, should we go try track this leopard? Let's do it. Alright, let's go do that. I don't know where Lauren is. Maybe she's actually even in the area. Try and get hold of her just now. Some big buffalo in here, though. See this boy in front. Why are you guys all looking so grumpy today? It's just how we look, apparently. David? I think... Let's see, he went in here like this. Maybe just quickly just do a little loop and then we'll head back towards where those tracks are. In the meantime, let's send you across to Marcus, who's also found something.
Well, from one big animal to the next. So we have got these breeding head of elephants in this area. Much as some of them are in actually quite hard places to see. But yeah, as you can see, Odi doing his best there to show all of them to us. So there's a breeding head of elephants that are just feeding. Of course, on our quest to find those lions, we had one of these guys vocalizing as well. Because sometimes they will make those sounds to show maybe that one is not happy about something. But other times, yeah, they do give those sounds if they maybe encounter these lions that we're looking for. But of course, there is no sign of these lions, at least here, until we came across this head. As you can see, that one just slowly feeding. Doesn't look like it's in a rush, getting somewhere, having a good time. As you can feel some bit of a branch breaking. And of course, when you are out in the bush like this, one has to listen more. So it helps, especially with these guys. Of course, you will hear some branches breaking as they are feeding, because they don't really feed as silently as when they move. Because for a huge animal like these elephants, when they move, especially if they move in a bare patch or in a road where there isn't a grass or some bushes too, they don't make sounds at all. You can hardly hear them move. But of course, when they're feeding, they do make those sounds. So those are some of the things that you might be able to pick up. Especially if you are walking, because you don't really want to encounter most of these animals while walking. You don't really want to surprise them more than encountering them. And as you can see, just went behind that bush there, so we can hardly see it. And it's evident in that picture how quickly they can disappear, or actually how they blend in. And look at that. So if you notice, this one's got his ears wide open like that, so trying to make himself bigger, a little bit more intimidating to us. As he's just going about his days, ripping some leaves off the tree. Into that, I'm not sure if the viewers can hear the sound of that pearl-spotted owlet. Some of the beauties of the bush here. You spend time with these elephants and then you hear all of a sudden these birds calling. Quite nice sound. And our elephant looks like it's gone behind another bush. And where he is now, you can hardly see him. Of course, the other members of this herd are quite far into the thickets. So a very good question from Kyle. Wants to know how often will lions hunt elephants. So Kyle, in our area here, not a lot of our prizes that hunt these elephants. But of course, if an elephant is still very young, lion prides might be able to take it down or kill it. However, for a young lion, for a young elephant, you will find those with the mother present, or with actually most of the herd members. So they do protect all these youngsters from any potential dangers that includes those lions. And of course, for lions, they will need to suffocate these animals in order to be able to bring them down. So for the older elephants, of course, if you look at that neck, lions won't be able to suffocate those. And of course, being bigger than lions, they are potentially a threat to these lions. So if anything, they try and avoid each other. But I know there are other countries in Africa where there are some prides that specialize in hunting these elephants, but not so much in our area here. And as you can see, that one having the time of his life there, going for some grasses, but also going for some leaves of these trees. And look at that one there. So like he had those grasses with his trunk, but wasn't able to snap it until he brought his feet, which is quite smart of this elephant. And of course, judging by that size, you can see it's still a youngster. So there are some larger ones that are further inside the thickets here. They are feeding. Chances are from here they're making their way. Maybe they're feeding towards the direction of a certain water hole where they will be able to drink. So we're still here with those elephants that are moving quite slowly while feeding. And of course, for a huge animal like these elephants, which have got a poor digestive system, so they spend most of their time feeding, as you can see there. And of course, whatever it is that they're taking, a huge percentage of it will come out exactly as it is. And hence they have to be constantly feeding like that. But of course, they do have one thing to their advantage. It's that they are mixed feeders. And when it comes to something like a tree, as you can see that one smelling with his trunk, when it comes to a tree, they utilize all the parts of the trees, which is the leaves, the bark, and sometimes they'll just push down a tree that they will be able to access the roots, because that's what they would go for as well. And being in dry season like this, let me try a reposition for the others. In dry season like this, where they eat a lot of these food that they eat, it's quite dry. Hence, they will need to be drinking a lot more water than they would maybe in summer seasons where they will get at least some moisture from this vegetation that they feed on. Okay, I'll just go back a bit so that we've got quite a good view of him. As you can see there, now they feed standing out, and as soon as it gets hotter, they will just feed and stop in shades.
We have got reports of zebras alarm calling and potentially something being killed. This is going to be a massive shot in the dark unless we can get more clarity from all of you guys. What direction? Close? Far? We really don't get that. The other day apparently it was Shadulu. I didn't have that information at the time. Thanks to Simone, I got it. And if I'd known that, I would have checked in a different area for Shadulu. I checked sort of Gallagher Shortcut Central. That's the wrong area for Shadulu. So if any of you really do have any information on the direction or the distance or proximity or anything, please do let us know, and maybe we can potentially solve this mystery before the end of drive. If Tristan's nearby, I don't actually know where Tristan is, he's welcome to come in and help. The more eyes, the more vehicles, the better, but right now it's a bit of a shot in the dark. Tristan also heard alarm callings from the wildebeest this morning, so he suspected that something was here. But by the time we got out, it was all calm. I don't see anything on quarantine. That's a clue in itself, actually. The dam cam, but it's also frustrating when you arrive and you just can't grasp what's just happened. I'll need to turn off the engine and listen myself in just a moment. There's camp. Do you want to go home for breakfast, Pete? Now we are about to pass the lodge and stuff as sort of behind the scenes. There's some impala. Okay, good to know there's some impala still on quarantine. So the only info is the zebras are not far away. Okay. Well, I'll scratch around for sure. I'm also just going to pop over to the dam and just turn my engine off, see if we can pick up anything. But it's just such a huge area. It doesn't look it, but it really is. You've either got to check quarantine and sort of Twin Dams, Walberg's Nest, or you got to go on to Central. You can either go east to Central or west to Mvubu, and then you've got the Gallagher Pan area. It's tricky. I am literally right next to the dam cam right now. Hi, dam cam. I'm going to turn off. BK will give you some magical view of the dam, and I'm just going to listen. See, the impala are all drinking, relaxed. Maybe they're relaxed because they know it wasn't them. It's actually really lovely. There's another vehicle here. I'd really like to start my search very shortly.
Hi, I'm Dee from the south coast of England. Today I was told I have won the most amazing prize to go to Marataba. Oh, I can't believe it. I became hooked on WildEarth last year when I was trying to escape COVID, and animals are my thing. I just love them and I love what WildEarth does. So that's why I wanted to become an explorer. Just so looking forward to going out to Marataba. Want to do a walking safari. Thank you so much, WildEarth.
Sign up to be an explorer today, and it could be you jetting off on an all-expenses-paid-for safari experience. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. As one of the industry's best and Fagasa-endorsed training institutes, NJ Moorfield Guide College produces professional guides of exceptional caliber and gives students from around the world an incredible experience. NJ Moore offers courses to suit all types of interests. The full-length career course results in a Fagasa-accredited qualification and the option of a 6-month internship at one of Moore Family Collection's luxury safari lodges. Shorter courses are a great introduction for those considering a career in field guiding or even a life-enriching experience in your gap year. With spaces still available in July, don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to live your African dream.
You are cheeky. That was a brave decision. Amber Eyes is... Oh. That is so magic. That was absolutely wonderful. Amber Eyes just gave that cub an enormous hug.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth. Day.
Bear with me, everyone. I've done quarantine.
That photo you showed, that screenshot, where was that?
You think it's in there?
I don't know.
All we've heard is Zebra's alarm calling and something being taken down. It sounded like it could be a lion from here.
We went all through here. Went round and down.
Nothing. Okay. I might cross over and see if I can get anything on that other side, but...
I'm going to tell you, because I wasn't sure when you said something. Based that you told me.
I know, it's tricky. Well, let me know. I've got my radio up now.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell them, because I said, listen, we were just trying to get hold of you. I said, Sims, just steer clear of the area until we can find out.
Okay. you go find those lions for me. I have faith in you. Sorry, everyone, I'm not getting any time to go and get on the ground with this one, I'm afraid. We'll try for you all. I know the herd of zebras. They've been hanging around. I know exactly which herd it is.
Nothing in Doris live. You're welcome to come back into the area.
Opa's helping us. Look, I mean, Opa is a wizard. He fixes the cars, so you never know. You might find whatever is here. These impalas look really, really relaxed. Good morning, impala. Helpful, but also not sometimes, because it's a wonderful tool, but it picks up audio from very, very far. So when you arrive, I don't really have anything to go on. It's very windy, so that immediately makes me think that the sound will be blocked. If it was a still winter's day, the sound travels very, very far. But because it's windy, that's given me an indication that it has happened quite close. 2 tracks. Predator tracks, or even the zebra tracks, because the zebra have seen whatever's going on. They know. They have seen or heard or smelled what's going on. So zebra tracks, predator tracks. Then if we turn our engine off every so often, the engines are really, really noisy. Try and listen for audio. Be it alarm calls or be it sounds of the predator themselves or the predators. But that damn cam microphone is honestly picked up on kills. I remember we got saying that Buffalo's been taken down. This was years ago, so we all came and it happened in Buffalo's. And this is when we didn't have traverse on Buffalo's. So it's a sort of double-edged sword, if that makes sense. The team on the vehicle really need to hear the audio in order to get a sort of sense of direction. If it was lions, if it was a pride of lions, you possibly may see vultures. Vultures really do tend to follow the lion prides throughout the day. Got incredible eyesight. They can just ride the thermals and spot the lions, because lions normally deliver in terms of food. Large kills, even if it's not large, even if it's just an impala, they leave quite a lot behind, which means the vultures can swoop in. Hyenas? Hyenas are also a clue. Okay, perfect. Now I can get on that game drive radio. We are going to send you guys over to Marcus with some elephants.
Welcome back to andBeyond Ngala, everyone. So we have left that herd that we had earlier, and then came across this other herd as well. So the beautiful thing, as you can see with these ones, looks like it is a lot more than the ones we saw earlier. And these ones, at least we can share it with our viewers. And of course, as you can see, the size difference. Another breeding herd as well of different ages. So there are some that are younger than others. There are these old ones, and there are the middle-aged one, if I can put it like that. Yeah, so we are on our way to check one of their water holes, still looking for some lions, and we find these elephants probably making their way to the same water hole. And so we are going to send you over to Tristan and Djuma. Let's see what is good for us while we continue making our way to that water body.
Well, from one herd to another, you can see a herd of Ellies are just finishing up their drink at Treehouse Dam. They have come in, and when we first got you, there was a couple more of them that were drinking, but it seems like they're done now and are going to start moving off. And there's also tracks for a female that they said has crossed in here, but I find it very, very odd, because if it's Tswalu, unless it's maybe Moya that's crossed in, but if it's Tswalu, she came from here and went down, and then she would have gone into Little Gari and turned back and come in the exact same direction. Doesn't make sense, unless that was her tracks coming in from this morning, and then when Lauren found her after the event, that could also be the case. I don't know. The guys seem very confused by all of this, and so they're saying that it was on top of the vehicle tracks, but I'm not sure. Like I say, it could be Moya, it could be Klalamba, it could be, different leopard altogether, but we'll just have to wait and see. Look at the little one trying to eat soil. What are you doing, silly thing? How awesome is this? Hey guys. Don't drink water here, because you're going to spray me with it. There's a big path behind me that you can go. You can see the big ear the tick in its ear. See that, David? It's not going to be too fast to go by, but interesting. The whole herd should come filing past. Like I said, the actual game path is behind me here, where they're heading. So they'll kind of cross behind us, all of them. Amazing how they just wait for all the members to be finished, the little ones, everybody, and then they start to move from there. It's the two oldest females that are still drinking at the moment. Evie is 13 years old. Sit on elephants for a number of reasons. The first is that the trunk and the tail, let's rile them up. Sorry, they all of a sudden have changed their demeanor. You see how all their ears are up and flared? What's wrong, guys? The shift in the wind, I think, has changed it. So yeah, their tail and their trunk mean that they can get to oxpeckers if they try and come anywhere near them. But also, if you look at elephants, you see they don't have much fur. And so there's not a huge tick load on elephants. They're very good at making sure they clean their body and rub and take ticks off, and so there's no food for oxpeckers. There's the odd tick here and there, maybe one or two ticks that are around, but really not enough to sustain an oxpecker. And given that the trunk and the ears and the tail will constantly be flapping and moving, there's just nowhere nice for the oxpeckers to sit, and that's why they don't go on to the elephants. But more than anything, it's the lack of food. There's just really not enough food for oxpeckers to sit with them. Much nicer to be on buffalo where there's hundreds and hundreds of ticks, whereas an elephant might just have one or two. Hi guys. I think the wind has shifted from us to them now, and that's why they can smell us. That's why they're just being a little wary as they come past. Such a wonderful sight, this. Ellies have been good to us lately. We've had some really nice elephant sightings. What is this elephant doing? You see this, David? Clang clang. I also enjoy it when they walk like this. It is like slow motion. They just go take it as easy as they can. What are you doing, boy? Silly. As you say, it is like slow motion. They just kind of have the slow roll past you. I always enjoy that as well. It's a big herd though, this. I wonder if it wasn't two groups that came together here. It's possible. There must be a good 20, 30 of them. Maybe more actually, if I look now. Which is, most of our groupings of elephants are quite small, relatively speaking. So, we get kind of herds of 15, 20, that's sort of average size herds here. Whereas in some parts of the world, your herds will be much larger than that. But there's above average size herd. There's, like I say, I reckon at least 30 of them in this group. I'm a little bit sad though. This morning, David and I came to Treehouse Dam, parked on this dam. We're like, not much going on here. And we then turned left behind us. And if we had turned right, I think we would have found Sabi much earlier on. She came from here, from Treehouse Dam, and then she popped out onto the road there. She must have been walking on the road because when Lauren found her, we had just gotten onto Gari Main and were heading kind of eastwards. So she must have been on this road already, and we would have been able to follow her all the way along. Which I suppose happens, it just goes to show. You can take the wrong turn at any time, or the right turn at any time. Guys, are we on a go slow this morning? Looks like they're actually sleeping. See the one on the end there? Look, her trunk is completely relaxed on the ground. Maybe they've decided it's time for a little nap. After a little drink, have a good nap. Seems like a good idea. Also, no, not necessarily. I mean, with matriarchs, what typically happens is it kind of rolls through the family. So, daughter of the matriarch typically can take over. But in herds like this, they won't always stick together. They might actually break apart, and then you'll have one of the other older elephants will take over the duties for a while. So it can be, there's a randomness to it depending on circumstance. But generally, kind of from within the own family of the matriarch rises another one. It's been very interesting with the Ellies of late, and I don't know what it is, but they're all in like this kind of trance-like relaxed state at the moment. I haven't had any ellies moving very fast. All of the sightings I've had recently have been super relaxed, super chilled. I'm happy to walk close to the cars. It's really interesting. I don't know if maybe it's that time that they just are relaxed. Maybe because it's been a winter full of plenty that they're not under stress. I don't know. Beautiful girl. Isn't this amazing? I think the little ones are unsure of us. It's very possible there's something on the wind that they also don't like, that they are a little wary of. Talking to each other. Alright, well, we'll carry on sitting with them probably for the rest of our morning. See what ends up happening with them and whether they come back around us and join up with the rest. The ellies are still talking to one another. And that's what it is. You see this dwarf mongoose there. That's why they're riling, why the ears are flared. It's sniffing where the dwarf mongoose is sitting. That's very cool. Also, she looks like she has partial leucism. You see the back of her ears are pink. That big car that's walking away from us, the one with a little baby behind it. When she flaps her ears forward, the back of her ears are pink. Especially that left ear. Often with the elephants, when they're born, they look a lot more pink, and then over time they darken up a little bit if they do have partial leucism. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me if she does have it. Looks like her baby's feet also had some coloration on it, or some pinkish coloration. Unless, of course, it's just maybe an algae or something that she sprayed on there. But that ear does look like it's pink, doesn't it? From here, even now that she's got it flared out. It's just elephants all around us at this stage, so they're drifting off behind us. I wonder if it's not, like I say, two herds that join together here, because they're not really moving in the same direction, or they've communicated with everybody to basically say it's time to feed now. We don't have to worry so much about water and being close together. Everybody can spread and have a good feed, and then they'll come together when it's time to move on once more. Alright, well, we'll probably carry on. Let's see what else we can find on our way back home.
We're still searching. Simone, thank you very much. Apparently you're saying the direction of Tumbeta. We've been around Tumbeta, but that's given us a direction, if that makes sense. Decisions. Tumbeta's here, what used to be Inga's. There's a steamboat running towards Tumbeta. I'm wondering if it's maybe just slightly this way. Slightly down Philemon's. We've done the western edge, we've done the mountain. I know some two-track. This is a really productive block here. But Tandy being chased by one of the Talamatis here. Kalamba loves this block. We have dogs in this block. So I'm wondering if possibly they're here, which is the same direction as Tombeta, if that makes sense. Or they're even further in the Rebecca's drainage. But everyone on the game drive, my game drive radio is broken, which needs to be fixed urgently or I'll get in big trouble. Everyone's been looking for lions all morning and no one has had any luck. I haven't seen the zebra. That's the missing link, I think. We haven't seen the zebra, but the zebra's seen the lions. At all. Could even be in the Mulwati. So that sort of drainage line where the Mulwati starts-ish from Gowrie Dam, behind the dam wall, behind that Jackalbury where we used to always have Hosanna. They could be in there. And that's why we're not seeing their tracks. Wouldn't it be great if we can solve this mystery before the end of drive? I'm very aware that time is running out. You can see the road in front of me, no tracks at all. And if lions really had walked here, you would see it. Their tracks are huge, especially if there's multiple individuals. It depends on so many factors. I mean, we're speculating here. The dam cam picks up on noises. I mean, I'm really not sure what's happened, but if lions, and I put a plural on there, an S on there, if lions have made a kill, it's very unlikely they would move it. There's many of them. They're hungry. They just feed there and then, but it's normally a very noisy affair, which is probably why the dam cam can hear it. It's loud, it's guttural. They wouldn't move it. Even a single lioness making a kill, small impala or steamboat wouldn't move it. Leopards, on the other hand, they do, because they're on their own. And they know that the sounds, even just alarm calls or the sound of something being killed, attracts the hyenas. That's what they listen for. Attracts everything in the area. But lions, they wouldn't move anything. There's this drainage as well. A lot of sightings in here. This is Ingwe Alley, sometimes called Jigga Jigga. Ingwe naturally means leopard. So this is the alley of the leopards, and I have actually had some incredible leopard sightings here. I had Hosanna and Kalamba up adjacent marulas fighting over a scrub here. And you know, I went through my photos last night, or some of them, and I realized I have 1 gazillion photos. Not quite. And Kalamba looks so young. The avocas look so young with their tiny little manes. I'm going to get posting them for you all soon, because I'm sure many of you would enjoy those memories. Okay, I'm going to do my very best here. It's a lot of voices. And hopefully we get lucky. Have another wonderful guest with us, Sergio Real. Sergio is a holder of the Ticket to Dream.
I bought a Ticket to Dream because I love WildEarth. All of the guides have been awesome. We've been watching for years, and it's a favorite part of my day to get to watch the drives. I look forward to seeing lots of leopards.
If you want to go on safari with a WildEarth guide, whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
My favorite part of the drive today was definitely an elephant that paid us a visit and came right to our car.
Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could be making your first ever on-screen appearance.
It's amazing being on a live drive in Djuma. It's just fantastic. The scenery is beautiful and the animals are even better.
The Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, WESA, encourages people to care for the earth. Through innovative projects, they aim to reverse the serious issues that we face in the world today. One of these projects is Green Coast, a proudly South African award for sensitive and well-managed coastal sites. This sustainability project protects our national coastlines while providing unemployed youth with a love for their environment and a hope for the future. WESA is a membership and volunteer-supported organisation. Every supporter is helping to change the only earth we have. Visit our website to see how you can help care for our earth.
Oh, it's going to be in trouble now. Oh, this is unbelievable stuff. Here comes a hippo in too. Go, Impala. There's a hippo coming in. I can't believe what we're seeing here. This is what we normally see in East Africa. It's all over. Hippo leaping at the crocodile now. Everything's gone underwater.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth Daily.
Welcome back, everyone. So we are in this thick vegetation now, which the Ngala leaf we sometimes find in these areas, and those are the ones that we are hoping for. But yeah, we don't have tracks, we don't have any evidence of her presence, at least for this morning in this area. But yeah, no luck with the lions, as we have mentioned. Much as we gave it a good try, we gave it a good search, I can assure the viewers it's not for the lack of trying. It's just that, yeah, sometimes these animals, we don't find them. And much as we had that one time that lion roared, and if he was not roaring from the road, it was from a block or thickets which we came and investigate. Of course, we'll be driving on the road until we get tracks that suggest otherwise, which in our case we didn't. So we had to leave that area. Gonna try at least this afternoon that day. Torment us again. Hopefully we will find them. But yeah, for now in this area, that's where we're hoping mostly for the Ngala lip, the Ngala female, and her youngsters, which also have got plans of their own. You know, with these animals, there is always a good chance that we might be driving and maybe they are somewhere watching us as we drive past. Just asking myself, much as we are looking for these animals, maybe they also one morning wake up, decides that let's wait for those animals to drive past so that we can be able to watch them. And while we are still searching for the lip, we are going to hand you over to Tristan and Djuma.
Well, Marcus, don't worry, I've been tormented for 3 drives now too, so we're all good. Happens, but we've had nice ellies and those kinds of things, so can't complain. It's not always about the cats. Nice when you've got the birds and elephants and those kinds of things. Anyway, just came to check quickly at Tswalu Pan, just based off all that audio that everybody was having. Hello, Lauren. Just to see if anything was here, but I don't think it can be any of the I just don't know what lines it could be. Nkuhumas and all their tracks are going south into Mala Mala, apparently from Hoffman's side. The Talamatis, the entire pride is together here north of us in Buffelshoek. Or not on a kill, they're just moving. So I'm not sure what everyone heard, but there's none of us can find a track for a lion anywhere to the south of here, east of here, west of here, or north of here on Djuma. So honestly, maybe it was a male leopard that caught a baby zebra. That's maybe what it could be, but I don't know. I'm really not sure. The interesting bit of news though is that when the Talamatis, they're saying there's a young male that's joined them. So there's now 4 young males of the same size in that pride now, and the 3 that are with the existing Talamatis are trying to chase that 4th one away, but he's just following the pride. So no idea who he could be or where he comes from, because the Nkuhuma young males are all smaller. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is there. Anyway, interesting. We'll try to see. Apparently they're moving west at the moment, but hopefully they turn south a little bit and come down towards where we are, that we can actually view them. They're a little far north for us at the moment with our signal, so unfortunately we won't be able to go to them even this afternoon. But we'll see, maybe they turn a little bit, come down. But yeah, I don't know, like I say, what the noise was. Yeah, maybe there's a lion that's sneaked in here somewhere, or it could be, like I say, a male leopard that's grabbed a zebra foal. It's possible. This morning I had a wildebeest alarm calling here when we were in camp, getting ready for the drive, and I came out and then the wildebeest were pretty relaxed and chilled. They weren't making too much noise. What is that, David? Spot something far in the distance. Let me just see. Oh, I can't see it anymore. Yeah, there. What's that? It's probably just a stump, but I just want to double check. It is a stump, David. Very good, wonderful. Stump for the win. Why not? So yeah, I don't know, mystery. But if there's a kill, there'll be vultures later. And well, yeah, I mean, that's the way it goes. I certainly didn't think I certainly didn't track much this morning. All the tracks that I had just went in places we couldn't go to, so didn't really have too much. I know Marcus was very busy this morning. Lauren seemed like she was following up on quite a lot, so we'll find things this afternoon. It's not like we haven't had good drives. It's been very, very good the last few days, and so really no reason or need to complain about anything. This afternoon's another day, and who knows what we'll get. That's the nice thing about safaris, is that you can have a quiet morning or quiet afternoon, and you have a bumper morning or afternoon the next one. Just take it as it comes, and whatever comes our way will be what we see. You guys are spoiled because you have lots of different feeds, so you see a lot of different things, but yeah. Anyway, it's that time of the day where we're going to head home and go and see what's for breakfast ourselves. Hopefully you've had a good morning with us and you enjoyed the ellies and sabui and hyenas and birds and all the various other things that were on display this morning. We shall see you all this afternoon. So from all of us, it's been an absolute treat. We'll see you on our sunset safari.